Have you ever wondered what people are up to when they think no one's looking? Well, the cameras were rolling and the secrets are out. From mind-blowing surprises to moments you'd never expect, these caught-on-camera clips will leave you speechless and maybe laughing a little too hard. It seems like this fish isn't a fan of the food offered by this girl. Have you ever seen something like this happen live? I have once, and trust me, it's usually their ego that gets hurt more than anything else. He thought this was a shortcut home. This was supposed to be a simple task to maintain the baseball field, but what happened next took them by surprise. He thought no one would notice him like this. Two stubborn drivers met head-on, and the narrow bridge wasn't wide enough for both to pass. One driver decided to give in, thinking it would resolve the standoff, but it quickly turned into instant regret. Should we consider this a legitimate win due to her effort? It's crucial to stay alert and follow traffic rules to ensure everyone's safety on the road. Today's lunch is going to be late because her phone decided to take a swim in the stew. Guess the phone's getting more soup than she expected. If they hadn't decided to show off their dance moves, this never would have happened. Turns out, some moves are better left off the dance floor. How did he manage to pass the technical inspection? This is the funniest thing I've seen this month. What do you think? They couldn't understand why they were banned from the gym until they were shown the security camera footage. While busy with the excitement of buying a new TV, he almost ended up breaking another one that was sitting on the stand. Do you enjoy winter and all its joys? He used to be a fan until this moment. He didn't notice that water had accumulated due to the rain, and he found out the hard way. A family group photo that they'll never forget. This is what happens when you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Unexpected and often unforgettable. He wondered where all the fish he caught were disappearing to, not realizing that this sneaky little cat was the real thief. Would you visit this barber and pay for a full treatment if it looked like this? The delivery of the new car from the dealership takes a turn for the worse when it falls off the truck. Because of her, rollerblading was banned at this spot. Sometimes, one mishap is enough to change the rules for everyone. Her new bag fell into the swamp, and now it's got a whole new earthy vibe. Guess she's going for that nature chic look. This texting with his crush is going to cost him dearly. Before we continue with the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what part of the video was your favorite. Your support means the world to me, and it's always amazing to hear what you enjoyed the most. The strong wind blew their roof away, and for a moment they thought the world was ending. Luckily, they have this footage, or they would have ended up fighting over who's to blame. He wanted to finish the jobs as quickly as possible so he could make it to his date. But in his rush, he made this mess, and now he'll be a little late. This guy is definitely more of a summer person than a winter one. The cable snapped on the lock machine while he was in the middle of his set. Talk about a broken workout plan. Finally, her shift ended, and she only had a few administrative tasks left. But she took a tumble when she tried to sit down on the chair. I'm amazed by the delivery guy's patience as he tries to leave the package. Maybe he should have just tried a different approach. She had no idea the camera was filming her, but she quickly found out. If I had strong enough hair, I'd go to this barber tomorrow and get the same hairstyle. When we decide to have a barbecue, nothing can stop us. It woke up their childhood memories when they saw this, and they decided to have a little fun. He managed to drive all the way down the highway, but here, his tire just fell off. They were overjoyed when their food arrived, but their appetite quickly vanished after witnessing this fail. Unbelievable road footage. This car is rolling like it's auditioning for a new three-wheel car commercial. The only explanation I have for this is that they must have stolen these items and just tossed them in the trunk without a care. Of course, everything fell out in spectacular fashion. This is done for luck. Just throw the coin over your head and hope for the best. For some, it's good fortune. For others, not so much. This car has survived a lot, you can tell by looking at it. The wheel fell off in the parking lot, and somehow it happened right there and not in the woods or somewhere else. This is a swing for little kids, but they decided to give it a try. You can probably guess how this ends, not the smoothest ride. She was wondering where all her things were disappearing from her closet until she caught her little dog stealing them and stashing them in his own little house. Guess he's got a secret shopping habit. It's always a tough workday when you've had a wild night before. The little dog scared him so much that this happened. Everyone in the neighborhood got a dog just so they could coincidentally run into this girl while she's walking hers. Dogs are truly amazing creatures. Despite their tendency to cause a bit of chaos around the houses, their loyalty and playful nature always make up for it. There's something special about having them around. They bring joy and comfort in ways that no one else can. This day, lunch will definitely be late. The doorbell camera captured an unexpected moment when a passerby approached their door and did this. Clearly, he was just having some fun and wasn't too concerned about the situation. Just another random act of silliness. A couple of drinks and we thought we could do anything. Maybe it would have been smarter for him to stick to fishing instead. This is something he'll have a hard time getting over. He basically handed the win over to others. Luckily, he has this footage to prove that he wasn't at fault. He had no idea just how strong he actually was until this happened. They didn't know a camera was watching them. Another vehicle that clearly isn't in working condition is still somehow on the road. It's a mystery how it's managing to stay functional. Hopefully, it doesn't cause any major issues before it's properly fixed. Every beginning is tough, but over time, we get better. This is something you've probably never seen before. This guy opens a coconut with his teeth. It's impressive to watch someone use such skill and strength for something so unusual. Truly a display of raw power and determination. Just as she was about to place the last bottle on the shelf, everything came crashing down. He refused to pay for the work they had done, and this is what happened next. They didn't hold back. Everything was destroyed.
Should have paid.
One wrong step, and they all ended up without their hard-earned daily wages. The eternal struggle between delivery drivers and dogs continues. Every time a package arrives, it's like the dog thinks it's their personal mission to stop it, one bark at a time.
Come here, Nala! Nala, come! She's friendly! Come here!
This penalty was something I've never seen before. The way it was executed left everyone in disbelief. Definitely one for the history books. Always keep your distance from other cars on the road because you never know when something like this could happen. A little extra space can save you from a big surprise. If it wasn't for the wall, this would have been the perfect drift. I'm sure there's going to be a huge argument when he comes back for her. Her husband didn't notice she got off the bike, so now she's left behind. Before we continue, we'd love to know where you're watching us from. It would mean the world to us to hear from our amazing audience and learn which country tunes in the most. Your support truly inspires us. There was a malfunction, and now it's impossible to stop this machine. They have no choice but to wait until the fuel runs out before it can finally come to a halt. What a wild situation. It's not always as it seems. What was supposed to be a perfect photo shot turned into a windy disaster. He thought it was just sleep paralysis, but turns out it wasn't. Out of nowhere, the deer slides into the living room, leaving behind both confusion and a brand new dent in the plaster. Surveillance video caught the rogue tire on a mission to wreck the piece, bouncing with confidence straight into a poor, unsuspecting vehicle. Like a superhero with a shield, the car deflected the falling metal as if it were a bug hitting a windshield at full speed. The startled boy dropped the broom and sprinted away, proving once again that humans may build cities, but birds still rule the rooftops. What started as a routine hitching job turned into a high-stakes tug-of-war, with the heroic duo stopping the trailer as if they were auditioning for the next Fast and Furious. Without missing a beat, it jumped frantically between massive orange machines, knocking over tools like a wild pinball. While the house was left with damaged walls and a story to tell, everyone was grateful that no one had been hurt in the unexpected explosion that transformed their quiet evening into a disaster scene. It tilted dangerously to one side, its tires screeching as if screaming for mercy. Onlookers couldn't decide whether to laugh or sympathize, as the once pristine cars were left resembling crushed marshmallows, completely at the mercy of winter's unpredictable wrath. Realizing the chaos he had caused, the man quickly scrambled to his feet and, in a desperate attempt to avoid his wife's wrath, pretended to casually re-enter the room as if nothing had happened, while the dog sat nearby, glaring at him, with a mix of confusion and quiet betrayal. By the time he reached the very beginning of the sidewalk, he looked like a man who had just ridden the world's shortest and least fun ice slide, defeated but strangely graceful in his misfortune. The impact not only left a giant dent in the car's rear, but also caused the neighborhood to erupt with curious onlookers, all speculating about how the trailer had decided to abandon its duties mid-drive. Mid-trim, the dog suddenly jerked his leg and delivered a perfectly timed kick to her face, leaving her momentarily stunned. As the truck finally cleared the tightest section without a scratch, applause erupted from the crowd, who couldn't believe they had just witnessed a real-life display of driving mastery in such an absurdly narrow space. Without thinking, he extended his leg and miraculously caught the mug with the side of his foot, balancing it just inches from disaster. Eventually, she backed away, her pulse racing, and muttered a string of prayers under her breath while imagining the kitchen's furniture coming to life like some cursed relic from a ghost story she never wanted to be part of. He reversed into the driveway. The top of the fridge struck the edge of his home's low roof with a loud metallic crunch, sending vibrations through the truck and his nerves alike. Car moved forward, the pump hose stretched taut before snapping, spilling fuel onto the ground and causing the attendant to leap into action with panic gestures. While the family was having fun draining the inflatable pool in the garage, splashing water everywhere and laughing together, the woman, unaware of the slippery floor, suddenly lost her footing, causing her to slide and fall hard on the ground just as the video came to an end. In an attempt to control the situation, the delivery man tried to catch the fridge, but it fell off the cart, causing him to panic as the camera caught the whole accident. The cat casually walked into the store, grabbed a candy from the shelf, and made a quick getaway, leaving behind confused shoppers. His parents were occupied in the other room. The little boy, with his toy in hand, took the opportunity to throw it at the television screen with surprising force, not realizing that his actions would cause a loud crash and a shattered screen, which went unnoticed until the parents later reviewed the surveillance footage. Man in the white shirt swiftly placed his hand through the narrow opening of the glass box, expertly grabbing the gold and pulling it out, leaving everyone amazed at how quickly he completed the challenge. Adorable sight of the little girl peeking out from behind the wardrobe door, barely able to contain her giggles, made the game even more fun, as the man pretended to search high and low, only to be met with the gleaming eyes of his daughter. After a long day of shopping, the woman returned to her car, tired but excited to unload the bags from the trunk. But in her rush, she forgot to put the car in park, and as she opened the trunk, the car slowly rolled backward, heading straight toward her neighbor's house. It was a bizarre scene as the bear, seemingly enjoying itself, rolled around on the mat in front of the house, unaware that its antics were being captured by a nearby camera. Despite his best efforts, the man struggled to lift the heavy trailer with the pallet jack, and as the trailer didn't budge, he ended up lifting the pallet itself, pushing it further out of balance. Just as the woman was about to reach the neighbor's car, the dog suddenly darted out, catching her completely off guard and causing her to step back in a panic, not expecting such a wild reaction from the animal. Suddenly, a massive snowfall descended upon the road as people were casually chatting in front of the company building, and in mere seconds, they were completely engulfed by the thick snowstorm, which made it nearly impossible to see or hear anything as snowflakes swirled heavily around them. While the fish was happily swimming in the restaurant's aquarium, it unexpectedly managed to slip out of the tank and make a daring escape back into the lake, surprising everyone who witnessed the fish's sudden return to its natural home. As the man tried to steer the mower, it suddenly got away from him, and within moments, the machine crashed straight into the garage door, creating a huge mess and alarming everyone nearby with the loud noise. Her best efforts to keep her balance while holding the heavy dog, the woman found herself tumbling backward when the dog, shifting his weight, caused her to fall over onto the floor with a soft thud. The man, peacefully enjoying his time by the pool, was caught off guard when a bear suddenly appeared, sniffing around his lounge chair. But the young bear, not finding anything of interest, quickly ran away, leaving the man to breathe a sigh of relief. In an unexpected and slightly terrifying moment, the mama bear, who had clearly become familiar with the area, approached the couple sitting on their porch, standing directly in front of them, with her cubs nearby, causing them to freeze in shock, unsure whether to run or stay still. With rain pouring down, the woman tried to sit on the scooter by first opening her umbrella, but as she cleaned the seat, her boyfriend, thinking she had already gotten on, left her behind in a hurry, speeding off without noticing. While they're asleep, a sneaky bunny comes right up to their pillows and begins chewing on her hair. They wake up terrified, thinking it's a bad dream. Imagine sitting on your couch, enjoying your day, when suddenly a sink from the bathroom above crashes through the ceiling, along with tiles. It's like living in the middle of a renovation disaster, except it's happening in your own living room. After her husband snatches her phone to see who she's texting, she goes into full no wait mode, grabs the phone back, storms off to the back of her shoe store like she's auditioning for a role in a soap opera, and he's left, standing there, wondering if he just signed up for a lifetime supply of shoe rage. Playing fetch, he throws a tennis ball up on the roof, and it bounces into a narrow ventilation shaft. The dog's looking at him like, what just happened? Imagine cruising along enjoying your ride when a heavy metal frame unexpectedly crashes down from above, completely wrecking your scooter in the process. He's left standing there in shock, as his once pristine ride is now a twisted wreck. He's unloading a bunch of narrow wooden logs from his truck. They start slipping one by one, making their way across the yard and ending up right at the door, knocking over the furniture like a chaotic game of Tetris only in real life. He pulls out of his garage in his sleek black car. He somehow ends up driving up the stairs, creating total mayhem. It's as if he mistook the stairs for a ramp. Now his car's got a whole new set of elevated problems. A guy in a red shirt steps out of his white BMW, heads to the house, but forgets to put the handbrake on. Suddenly, his car starts rolling backward. Guess who's running after it now? They're happily washing their Ram pickup truck. Their buddy pulls up in his own truck, cranks up the engine, and starts drifting right in front of their house. It's like their driveway turned into a full-blown drift zone, complete with a free show. Cat falls off the aquarium, lands on the fan, and crashes right onto the guy sleeping below. Talk about an unexpected wake-up. Inside the warehouse, they're stacking huge bags of vegetables when suddenly a wild storm breaks out outside, and they have to fight to get the door shut before it turns into a veggie tornado. The city workers dump the trash can of this guy, but in their haste, they toss the whole can into the trash. Little did they know, he had the whole thing on camera. Talk about trashy evidence. As he leaves the dental room, the dentist forgets his usual calm and flings the door open with too much force, shattering the glass completely. Instead of panicking, he and the nurse share a laugh, as the whole situation becomes a ridiculous spectacle. After carefully setting up his natural grill and getting everything just right, this guy is about to cook the perfect meal, but suddenly a truck loses control and crashes right into his lunch, turning his carefully prepared barbecue into a total disaster. In the middle of her busy shift, the girl loses her footing, knocks the shelf, and suddenly the goulash is splattered across the kitchen floor. Guess someone's getting a taste of disaster. With a grin on her face, the girl speeds down the street on her hoverboard, ringing every doorbell she can find, turning her neighborhood into a playful battleground of ring and run. Just when the little dog is about to be in trouble, the woman in the pink jacket pulls him away from the pit bull. It's a funny yet tense moment of canine chaos. The girl expertly tosses the trash bag into the air, then in a single, seamless motion, opens the lid and drops the bag perfectly into the can. She's clearly the trash-throwing champion. He drags the fuel canister on wheels to his friend's house, but as soon as he walks inside, the cart decides it's time for a solo journey down the street. Guess it had somewhere to be. While walking along the sidewalk, the little boy sees a man enjoying his sandwich, takes it without hesitation, and runs off. The mom bursts into laughter and hands the sandwich back as dad and sister laugh at the cheeky move.